So if you want more power from your Land Rover Defender, stay tuned. Hi guys, I'm Dave and this is my Mahker workshop, and we specialise in Land Rover Defender, BMW M57 engine conversions. In this video, I'm going to tell you about what's involved, what it costs, and more importantly, lead times and what to expect from an M57 conversion. So first up, I'm going to talk to you about is power and performance. What's good and what's better. I'll do a little comparison for you. So the Puma 2.2 comes out the box, right? This is like accurate dyno figures from a dyno that we used. Makes 130 horsepower-ish and 320 Newton meters. A Puma 2.4 makes 122 horsepower and 361 Newton meters. So the Puma engines are, you know, they're here or there. So the 2.2 makes less torque than the 2.4, but the 2.2 makes a little bit more horsepower than the 2.4. So then we took an E46 that had done about 150,000 miles and we dynoed that. That made 230 horsepower and 500 Newton meters in stock form. So that to us was like, wow. And this is a high mileage BMW, right? So imagine something like this, compression's up, everything's brand new. And I remember the first Defender I ever dynoed was Miami. And that was a twin turbo and it made 389 horsepower stock. We then strapped two hybrids on it and it made just shy of 500 horsepower. Very lots of variables there. But anyway, so a stock one. So this is a 204 horsepower with an E90 turbo. I call this the 300 horsepower, right? And I know that this will make 850 Newton meters of torque, which is plenty in a Defender. And next we're going to talk about fuel efficiency. So what do these engines realistically get? A number of my clients are reporting figures of 25 to 30. We've got a client that used to work one of these daily with a towing company. He said on a long run he would get 30 to 35 towing. So that to me is super impressive because Pumas and things like TD5s, they rinse fuel. So let me talk to you about durability and the reliability. So for me, I believe that I can't be installing these engines if I don't personally run them myself. I took one of these to Morocco and I kicked its head in all the way across. You can ask the owner, Rob. I did it while he was sat next to me and it was quite pleasurable that I was ragging someone else's car, I'm not going to lie. Wait up! Walking now. Do you know what? It never missed a beat. But what it did do, it spat an engine mount off, and that taught me a very valuable lesson in business. Don't use stainless bolts on engine mounts. So I learned a lesson, and we bolted another mount on with a couple of bolts that we found in the bottom of Morocco's workshop, and it never let us down. Ask anybody, it outran the bikes. Anyway, back to it. Reliability. These engines, I can hand on heart say, I've never ever seen an M57 330D dead. I've seen these things run with a piston down, and that's because something's gone in there. Not because they've detonated, it's because the impeller off the turbo's broken up and it's ended up in the inlet. So if somebody out there can correct me and show me a dead 330D that's probably done 500,000 miles, I'd like to see that. So another good thing about these engines is how easily we can diagnose them of when something goes wrong. So we used to use second-hand sensors, cam sensors, crank sensors, fuel rail sensors, fuel cut-off solenoids, that kind of thing. Now we fit just new everything, and we never or rarely have a problem. Starting at the roots, I'm going to start with where we get the engines from. So my preference is the 204 horsepower, which is commonly found in the later model facelift E46, the BMW iron block. This engine, and a friend of mine who owns Prestige Engines, Steve, that helps me rebuild these engines, he will also tell you that the N57 is rubbish. Absolutely rubbish, unless he's had his hands on one, and basically got rid of all the niggles and all the toffee-made components. So the iron block, like I previously said, is super reliable, bomb-proof, and will take whatever you want to throw at it. So this is from the 204 horsepower M57 iron block series, if you like. I want to say 03 onwards. So if you want to fit a second-hand engine yourselves, try and find one under 100k, bare minimum, but you won't because they're so high miles. The Europeans love them and decide to run them into the ground. The cars give up before the engines give up. So that just shows how reliable these engines actually are. So we offer E90 turbo upgrades. We offer basic refinement when it comes to adapters and putting a 6-speed gearbox on the back. We're not fond of making and coupling up and cobbling up adapters for shifters and things like that, you know, to run the BMW 6-speed, as that is it's a very strong box. The drifters love them, but we'd rather keep the inside looking OEM and use what comes in the vehicle, which is the 6-speed. So for us, we're now on, I want to say, our Mark 6 engine mount. So we keep revising these and revising these. We found some engine mounts that are nice and soft. They get rid of vibrations, because you don't want to sit in your Defender that's a soft skin vehicle vibrating, because it is frustrating and it does ruin the drive effectively. So now we've found an engine mount, and I will tell you what the engine mounts are from when you subscribe to my channel. And I want to say the biggest challenge is getting this engine to sit at its optimum angle, almost how it is found in things like the X5 and the E46. So beyond the stock swap, the tuning and upgrades that we offer, so we can go from stock series 204 horsepower all the way to 350, 450 horsepower. I'm not going to tell you exactly what we do because that'll be giving away our trade secrets, but there's things like injector upgrades, there's turbo upgrades. If you look down here, this car is running an E90 turbo. We figured out what induction tube to use, what MAF sensor to use to get the all-important refinement out of these cars. What loom works best with the automatics, what works best with the manuals, and all in all, to try and make the ultimate in reliability, if you like. So upgrades are most importantly is your clutch. So genuine dual masses, or we can offer a sport solid flywheel. The solid flywheel gives increased vibrations. It's just, that's what the dual mass is there to do, is to iron out all that kind of thing, and use, you know, strong branded components like Satch, flywheel, friction plate, genuine Land Rover Defender, clutch release, slave cylinders. Same goes with, we've been prototyping with Willwood Masters currently to try and get that clutch lighter to keep you, the end user, happy. So I hope this helps a lot of you on YouTube, right? So this engine, people keep asking me, how much does it cost? Our conversion prices start at £30,000, depending on what spec you want to have. So the stage one, let's say stock spec is £30,000 plus VAT. If you want to have the stage two, add £5,000. If you want to go on to stage three, all in all out, you'd be knocking on the doors of about £40,000 plus VAT. Depending on automatics, we can do things like billet consoles with a nice leather surround. We can do things like heavy duty gearbox options. This has actually got a 6 HP in here. This is the BMW automatic box built with heavy duty internals, stage 2 transfer case. The world is your oyster, guys. But if you came to me and went, Dave, I want the world's strongest setup when it comes to conversions, you want to be budgeting about £40,000. A lot of people go, wow, that's a lot of money, but it's really not, guys. I don't make that much money on these kits. So you've got to remember, we've got a brand new cooling kit. We've got stainless hardware. A man has to physically make these, and it's why we call ourselves Mahker, because we make things by hand. All these components are handmade. This pipe here, right, from BMW, for example, right, is £200. Just a piece of plastic pipe, right? A MAF sensor is £285. That front vacuum pump there is nearly £300, guys, right? The power steering pump is £600. All genuine components, bought from BMW, certified, and I like using them parts, guys, because they don't let me down. If you want to do it cheaper, be prepared to get stung, guys. So currently our lead times are like 9 months. If you want your car converted, you need to join the list, and unfortunately, hang in there, and it will get done. When the Ineos Grenadier announced that they'd be building the Ultimate 4x4, a lot of people messaged me and go, Dave, you were already doing this a few years ago. So the Ineos Grenadier is using the latest M57. I believe it's an N57 variant, aluminium block, aluminium head, etc. for lightweight. But it's a BMW straight six at the end of the day, and it was based on this beautiful engine. So ask yourself, why is that company that's building the most reliable 4x4 out there, well, they claim to be doing that, Why are they using the BMW? It's because it's refinement, straight six, reduced vibrations for those of you that have never driven a straight six, and for the way it delivers its power. So this isn't like an OM606 that just gives you power mid-range to top end. This gives us power from, I want to say, 900 RPM all the way through to the end of its rev limit. So I love these engines because they're smooth, they're refined, and as Gwyn said in an earlier video, you can do the best of both. You can go crazy and you can drive like an idiot, or you can drive nice and steady and you can work it daily. So this really is my favorite all-round engine conversion for the all-round Defender. Someone that uses it for fun, pleasure, work, towing a horse box. This is the engine for you. So if you would like a conversion, get in touch at info@mahker.com or give me a call on my number. It's all over the internet. Drop me an email, and please be patient, guys. I don't just sit there waiting for that email to land and get back to you instantly. And if I don't get back to your email, please ring me, because I don't like emails. Anyway, see you later.